Have you ever been caught in that unbearable moment where a woman you care about says something so subtle, so casually thrown into conversation that it barely registers at first, but later it hits you like a sledgehammer? Maybe it's a phrase that sounds harmless, even kind, but inside you feel a strange chill. It's as if beneath the surface of her words, a silent message is screaming a truth. You're too afraid or too hopeful to admit the kind of truth that threatens to unravel everything you thought you knew about her, about your relationship, and maybe even about yourself. This isn't just a story about one bad comment or a fleeting misunderstanding. It's about those moments, those carefully disguised signs that tell you her feelings aren't real, that her heart is already somewhere else, or that she may have never cared as deeply as you hoped. And the worst part, most men miss these signs entirely because they don't want to see the truth. They brush off the warnings, they rationalize the red flags, they convince themselves love can fix everything. When in reality, ignoring these signs only drags you deeper into heartbreak and self-doubt. Take a moment right now to reflect. How many times have you caught yourself questioning her words, wondering if what she said was really meant, trying to tell yourself it's just stress or bad timing, or maybe even your imagination running wild? That internal battle between hope and fear, love and logic, is the silent torment so many men endure in silence. But here's the raw truth you need to hear. Love is not supposed to make you doubt your worth or question your sanity. Real love builds, uplifts, and honors you. And when it doesn't, when the words spoken carry hidden poison, it's a signal to protect yourself and your future. At Stoic Paradox, we cut through the noise and illusions. We don't settle for surface-level comfort or empty promises. We stand for truth, for clarity, and for the kind of strength that comes from facing reality, no matter how uncomfortable, because the moment you ignore those dangerous phrases is the moment you give up your power, your peace, and your chance at real happiness. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 10 things a woman might say that should immediately raise alarm bells in your mind. These aren't just complaints or fleeting frustrations. These are words that expose her true feelings, reveal her respect or lack thereof for you, and tell you everything you need to know about where you stand in her life. Recognizing these signs is not about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about honoring yourself enough to walk away when your heart deserves better. Because staying in a relationship when these words are spoken isn't just unhealthy, it's destructive. It's a slow erosion of your confidence, your dignity, and your ability to love freely. And the truth is, no man should ever settle for less than genuine respect and devotion. So if you're ready to awaken from the illusions, to reclaim your clarity, and to protect your heart with the wisdom and strength you deserve, then stay with me. This is Stoic Paradox. Let's uncover the truth together. 10 things she might say that mean you should leave immediately. 1. I'm just not that into you. Hearing these words can feel like a punch to the gut, especially if you've invested time and emotions into the relationship. But it's vital to recognize that this phrase is one of the clearest and kindest ways a woman can communicate that her feelings don't match yours. Often, men misinterpret this as temporary or try to convince themselves she means something else. The truth is, attraction and emotional connection are not negotiable or changeable through pressure or persistence. When she says she's not that into you, it means she doesn't feel the spark, the excitement, or the genuine connection needed for love to grow. It's not about your worth or value as a person. It's simply about chemistry and emotional alignment. Staying in denial only prolongs your pain and delays the chance to find someone who truly sees you for you too. You're too sensitive on the surface. This might sound like a casual critique, but beneath it lies a dismissive and invalidating attitude toward your feelings. Sensitivity is often one of the most beautiful and vulnerable parts of a man's character. It means you are aware, empathetic, and capable of deep connection when a woman labels you too sensitive. It's a red flag that she doesn't respect or understand the emotional depth you bring worse. It's sometimes used as a weapon to shut you down when you express needs or concerns over time. This erodes your self-esteem and makes you question your worth. A healthy partner won't see your sensitivity as a problem, but as a strength to nurture. 3. I don't want to talk about it. Communication is the lifeblood of every successful relationship. When she repeatedly refuses to engage in important conversations, whether about feelings, conflicts, or future plans, it's a clear sign of emotional withdrawal. This phrase acts like a wall shutting down intimacy and leaving you isolated in your efforts to connect. If she's unwilling or afraid to talk, it means she's not ready or willing to invest in the relationship. On a deeper level, a partner who loves you wants to work through difficulties with you, not avoid them when this pattern emerges. It's a powerful signal that the emotional foundation is crumbling. 4. You're just like, my ex being compared to a past lover is emotionally damaging because it invalidates your identity and reduces you to a shadow of someone else. This comparison is rarely fair or helpful. It often reveals unresolved wounds she carries or standards she hasn't communicated clearly. Constantly hearing this creates a toxic environment where you feel like you're competing against an invisible opponent. It undermines your confidence and breeds resentment, making it impossible to build a healthy, authentic connection. If she's stuck comparing you to her ex, it's a sign she's emotionally unavailable and unwilling to see you for who you really are. 5. Maybe we need some time apart. Asking for space can sometimes be healthy, but when it becomes a recurring excuse to avoid confrontation, commitment, or intimacy, it's a warning sign. This phrase often masks emotional disengagement, a polite way of saying she's pulling away or losing interest while some time apart can bring clarity and growth. Indefinite or repeated breaks without concrete plans usually mean she's creating distance to prepare herself to exit this ambiguous space, keeps you in emotional limbo, uncertain of your place in her life, which is unfair and emotionally draining. 6. I don't want to put a label on this. Refusing to define the relationship is a tactic that keeps you hanging in a state of emotional uncertainty. It may sound casual or like she's just taking things slow, but prolonged avoidance of commitment usually means she's not serious or ready to invest. This ambiguity is designed to keep you emotionally available and hopeful without offering real security or future plans. Healthy relationships thrive on clarity and mutual understanding of where things stand. If she consistently resists labeling the relationship, it means she's protecting her options and not fully committed to you. 7. I need space. Everyone needs personal space, but this phrase can sometimes be a subtle way of creating distance when asked repeatedly or used without explanation. It signals emotional withdrawal. Space should be about self-care or reflection, but when it becomes a pattern that isolates you, it suggests she's stepping back from the relationship emotionally. This often leads to detachment and can be a prelude to ending things. If you feel yourself being pushed away emotionally under the guise of needing space, take note, she may no longer be fully invested. 8. You don't understand me while it's normal to feel misunderstood. Sometimes, if this phrase becomes a frequent barrier in conversations, it's a red flag. It means she's shutting down dialogue instead of trying to bridge gaps. A partner who loves you will want to understand and be understood, working to communicate clearly even when it's difficult. If she uses this phrase as a way to avoid accountability or emotional connection, it shows a lack of willingness to grow together. This emotional distance creates frustration and loneliness, making it impossible to build trust. 9. I'm not ready for this. This phrase often carries multiple meanings. It might refer to the relationship, emotional intimacy, or life circumstances, while everyone moves at their own pace. If she says this repeatedly without showing signs of moving forward, it's a way to avoid commitment or deeper connection. Real readiness grows with trust, time, and mutual effort. Perpetual not readiness is an emotional stall that leaves you stuck in uncertainty. If there's no progress or plan to grow closer, it's a sign that she may not be serious about a future with you. 10. I'm just not happy. Happiness is a foundational pillar in any relationship. When she says, I'm just not happy, it's a deeply honest admission of dissatisfaction. This statement often indicates she's emotionally checked out or struggling with feelings toward you, or the relationship dynamic, staying in a relationship where unhappiness is voiced, is a recipe for ongoing pain and resentment. It's a wake-up call to assess if the relationship is truly nurturing both of you. Ignoring this can lead to heartbreak and wasted years chasing something that's no longer alive. Why these words should be your wake-up call when you hear any of these phrases. It's not about creating fear or doubt. It's about respecting yourself enough to recognize when a relationship isn't serving your highest good. Men often feel pressured to fix things to prove their worth or to endure emotional pain for the sake of love. But real love should feel like freedom, safety, and growth. It should inspire confidence, not insecurity, connection, not confusion. When these words come up, they're signaling emotional boundaries, being crossed, respect being eroded, or love fading. Your time, energy, and heart are precious. You deserve a partner who welcomes your emotions, communicates openly, commits clearly, and values your presence without hesitation. Leaving isn't a failure. It's an act of courage, self-respect, and wisdom. It opens the door for a future where your love is met with the same intensity and honesty you bring at Stoic Paradox. We believe every man has the right to experience relationships rooted in clarity, respect, and mutual passion. These phrases aren't meant to scare you, but to empower you, to help you recognize when to hold on, and more importantly, when to walk away for your own peace and happiness. Now that you understand these 10 critical phrases that should never be ignored, it's time to take action for your own peace, your dignity, and your future happiness. I want you to pause and reflect. Have you heard any of these words from someone you care about? Have you been making excuses or hoping things will change? The first step toward reclaiming your power is awareness. The second step is courage. The courage to set boundaries, to say enough, and to walk away when your emotional health is at stake. If you're ready to take control of your love life, to stop settling for confusion and emotional games, and to start attracting the respect and passion you deserve, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right now, join our growing community here at Stoic Paradox, where we dive deep into emotional intelligence, Stoic wisdom, and real relationship truths that empower you to become your best self. Don't forget to like this video. If it opened your eyes or resonated with something you've experienced, share it with a friend who needs to hear this message. Sometimes the hardest love is helping someone see the truth they're afraid to face, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I read every message and I want to hear your story. What phrase has hit home for you? How did you handle it together? We grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Remember, you don't have to settle for less than you deserve. Love starts with self-respect, clarity, and courage. If she says these things, don't ignore them. Protect your heart and move forward with strength. Thank you for watching. Stoic Paradox, until next time, stay wise, stay strong, and keep mastering the paradox of life and